and be displayed for the use by every house. We do not want to open the wrong URL. And what Senator Omutata did, he walked out without clarifying what website he needed to be opened. He did not do that clarification. I will now give a direction or a ruling on the point of order that was raised by Senator Eddy regarding the direction that had been sought on the information that is required on the Janjaweed. I will direct that Senator Omutata, though he's not in the House, he will still be required to table that information to the House because it's important. He was guided by the Speaker, and that ruling still needs to be abided by. Short of that, then it will be a defiance of the direction from the Speaker's set to provide it so that senators can follow the proceeding and see whether Janjaweed in Kenya or not. We can proceed on to the next. Senator Karungo.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. I was standing to contribute on the issue or the motion on the floor.
Senator Thangwah, I thought you were raising an issue on this same, what was under discussion. Otherwise, the next person.
You can give me the opportunity because I'm standing, Madam Speaker. I want to contribute on the motion.
Okay.
Thank you.
Proceed.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, as I rise to give my comments on the motion at hand, I was asking myself why we are actually debating this motion. Because, Madam Speaker, I remember even when we were elected, we didn't have something like that. For those who failed it, for those who never made it, for those who made it, I don't see the reason why we are discussing that. But now that it is here, Madam Speaker, I want to commend the Right Honorable Raila Odinga for offering himself to run for the seat, the chairman of AUC, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, some of us have been accused, probably we celebrated, when he failed to capture the seat. But I want to tell you, we never celebrated because Right Honorable Raila Odinga did not get the seat. We celebrated because some of those who are fronting him failed, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, Right Honorable Raila Odinga, Madam Speaker, I agree, was best fitted for that seat. But just like 2022 elections, Madam Speaker, he lost because of those who fronted him, Madam Speaker. I wish Raila could have gone for this seat alone. I wish he could have campaigned. He has connection within Africa nations. He knows presidents. They know him. If he could have campaigned alone, without president behind him, with him all the time, I tell you, Madam Speaker, Raila could have gotten the seat. Madam Speaker, he lost the seat because of various reasons. And it's good for us to understand, because going forward, we might front another candidate. And it is very sad even to hear a CS, Madam Speaker, calling Kenyans and telling them those who celebrated Raila's downfall have small brains, Madam Speaker. It is quoted, a whole CS said Kenyans should not have celebrated because Kenya lost. I want to tell Kenyans that Kenya never lost. What Kenya lost was billions of money that was used against the budgeting processes, against any laws that we have, Madam Speaker. Kenya lost money. You know, and it's not only losing through campaign and the budgets that was used to campaign for Raila Odinga. We are losing in SHI, we are losing in SHA, we are losing in affordable housing. A whole CS cannot tell Kenyans that Kenya lost. Kenya has been losing as we speak today, Madam Speaker. And that's why we are standing here today to tell that the reason why Kenyans were happy is because you come back and help clear this mess. Because him and the president, they are part of the broad-based government. and you cannot run away. And we cannot also allow the president to use international community to try and cleanse domestic issues, Madam Speaker. So I think it was the prayers of Kenyans that they wanted Raila to come back and do what he does. Either he joins the government and they continue looting, or he speaks for the people, as he has been speaking for the people, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker.
What's your point of order, Senator Osotsi?
Madam Speaker, I rise on standing order number 105. My good friend, Senator Thangwah, has said that Honorable Raila and should join Honorable Ruto to loot the country. Madam Speaker is on record that Honorable Raila does not hold any position in this country. Can he substantiate and provide evidence before this House that Honorable Raila and Honorable Ruto have been involved in looting? Madam Speaker, I think we cannot allow these kind of things to go on. I know the narrative is trying to spread, but we in ODM are not going to allow our leader to be scandalized just because he stood for the position of AU and he lost. Many other Kenyans would have done that, Madam Speaker, who are not necessarily in government.
Senator Thangwah, when you make a serious allegation, it's your responsibility under Standing Order 105 to substantiate your claim or allegation. Can you proceed to substantiate?
Yes, Madam Speaker, you know Senator Osotsi, who is my former chair at CIPIC, is also holding a very big seat at ODM. And he is questioning that Raila Odinga is not holding any office in government. Yet his party has fronted some big CSs who are holding big ministries, like the budget, like the finance, treasury, Madam Speaker. Today, as we speak, we have been whipped, all the chairs, and especially from Mount Kenya, and they are going to ODM again, Madam Speaker. So, and when he stands here to ask me, they are now part of the broad-based, what I call the bread-based government, Madam Speaker, because it is their time to eat. It is their time to eat. But they should do so, knowing that Kenyans are watching, Madam Speaker.
Senator Thangwah, it is important you use the parliamentary language. When you say bread-based,
you can swallow without eating. You just swallow. Just swallow. Madam Speaker, let me finish. I am a man of few words, Madam Speaker.
Senator Osotsi, you have a point of order?
Again.
Yes, Madam Speaker, you know, I really did not want to keep on interrupting my friend Thangwah. But you see, the point of order I raised was on the issue that Raila and Ruto are involved in looting. But he has not responded to that. He has only brought in the issue of broad-based, that some people are in government courtesy of ODM. Let him respond to the specific issue of the looting done by the two. That is the issue I wanted him to respond to.
Senator Karungo, you either substantiate or withdraw that.
Very quickly, I can do that, Madam Speaker. And this will come out clear once the statement that I have be given an opportunity on the floor of the House, because a lot of money was used, Madam Speaker. Kenyan government, even Raila himself, he's on record saying that Kenya and the president, the taxpayers' money was used to campaign for him, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, that money was not budgeted for. We do not have a kitty to campaign for anybody who is running for any seat across the country, Madam Speaker. If that is not looting, I don't know what you would call that, Madam Speaker. So allow me to ask that question that was asked by the Juja MP, Madam Speaker, saying that they used a lot of money. And instead of substantiating, instead of saying we used this amount of money, they arrested him, Madam Speaker. And after arresting him, only to take him to court and produce a different charge sheet from what they had arrested him for, Madam Speaker. So you can see they are trying to hide. They don't want Kenyans to know how much money was used. So, Madam Speaker, that one will come out clear when I do that. But let me finish by saying that, Madam Speaker.
Senator Thangwah, you need to table that. Do you have it here with you?
The statement?
Yes.
Yes, I do have the statement. I can send it on WhatsApp. Yes, I can do that. I don't know why, Madam Speaker, you are allowing us to have...
Madam Speaker.
One who raised that issue that you substantiate, so let him finish.
Madam
whether he's
Speaker,
satisfied with the answer.
substantiation is not done by way of a request for statement. It is done by way of evidence before the House. So he can have a statement seeking for information. But what we want is substantial evidence to be tabled in this House on how Raila and Ruto have been involved in looting. And Madam Speaker, this is a very substantive issue which you need to respond to.
Senator Karungo.
Maybe we can ask the Senator whether is Ruto looting.
Senator Thangwah, you still have not substantiated that issue. Are you able to present the substantiation documents now, or do you need to bring them by tomorrow?
I'll bring them by tomorrow, Madam Speaker.
By tomorrow, when the House rises again tomorrow, you bring that evidence to substantiate on the looting.
Yes, Madam Speaker.
Can there be a point of order as I give the ruling? Let him proceed on his feet. You raise it when he's on his feet. Proceed, Senator Thangwah.
Madam Speaker.
What's your point of order, Senator Methu?
Madam Speaker, I also didn't want to interrupt, but I am standing, pursuant to Standing Order 97, and I think I would want to invite you to look at this standing order. I feel that most of us, just as the Deputy Party Leader of ODM actually mentioned, we are misusing Standing Order 105. The Senator has spoken on the same matter, with your permission, thrice. On the same matter of substantiation, he has spoken about it, on it thrice. Our standing orders actually says that nobody should speak on the same matter twice. So how do you keep allowing somebody to keep raising the same standing order, the same point of order on a matter that he has already raised? Why can't somebody consolidate their thoughts and raise them as one standing order or one point of order once? Otherwise, they will keep disrupting people when they are making their contributions. Madam Speaker.
Are you also disrupting by raising that point of order?
I'm not
but
disrupting, I'm just inviting you to read.
It was an
no
issue
senator
that
shall
was
speak more than once to a question. So why are you lying? Okay.
Senator Methu, yes. Senator Karungo was requested to substantiate, and this was a request from Senator Osotsi. And Senator Osotsi has to respond whether he's satisfied with the substantiation, and I've given a direction on that matter. No need to further push that matter. Karungo, Senator Karungo, will you bring in the substantiation tomorrow? Proceed, Senator Karungo.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I think we should also look into that standing order of 105, because sometimes it can be used to suppress what the senators are thinking. And because we are the oversights, Madam Speaker, it is their work to substantiate, Madam Speaker. But nevertheless, as I was saying, Madam Speaker, Kenyans want to know how much money was used. How much? Because the Kenyan coffers, the public coffers, must have used a substantial amount of money to campaign for Raila Odinga. The question is, how much was used, Madam Speaker? I remember when Senator Migori was speaking. He said that he paid the air ticket to Addis Ababa. Madam Speaker, you were very lenient to him when he was told to substantiate. And he said, I can do that tomorrow or whatever time, Madam Speaker. And you know, and I know, members of parliament who have been accused of receiving bribes in toilet of 10,000 shillings, nobody, Madam Speaker, would cough millions, hundreds of thousands, Madam Speaker, to just go and celebrate. It must have come from the public coffers, Madam Speaker. And that's what we are asking. And that's what we are asking, Madam Speaker. We want to know how much. We want to know a breakdown. How much was used on tickets? How much was used in hotels? How much was used to induce others, Madam Speaker? So You know, it has been said here, Madam Speaker, yes, we are parliament. We are a parliament. We are supposed to be honorable members, Madam Speaker. But some of the things that have been done here, sometimes we question ourselves whether we are that honorable, the way we are pretending to be, Madam Speaker.
Senator Hamida, what's your point of order?
Madam Speaker, under point 105, I have my ticket, I have my hotel booking, and everyone does. So seriously, you are the one actually and Eddie has collected all evidence. In fact, that's what he's going to do. But then I feel strongly and pained to be told that I was paid for. Or it was the government money. We all paid for ourselves, Madam Speaker.
Senator Hamida, that's noted. Senator Eddie was directed by the Speaker to present evidence of those tickets, which I believe you present by tomorrow.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Proceed, Senator.
And finally, Madam Speaker, now on a more important angle, Madam Speaker, as I was saying, we need to know why we lost, Madam Speaker. And we lost because of 4 things, Madam Speaker. One is the relationship between Kenya and other governments, Madam Speaker. We need to understand that we have to be as diplomatic as possible as a country when it comes to other countries' affairs, Madam Speaker. And I believe Kenya and other countries, and especially SADC, SADC, Madam Speaker, they could have supported us when the Madagascar candidate was eliminated, Madam Speaker. But they didn't. Why? Because, again, for point number 2, the Francophone support, Madam Speaker. Those countries that speak French, Madam Speaker, they went for their candidate. And on a lighter note, the 2 candidates that were running, that is Mohamed Ali Yusuf and Raila Odinga. Mohamed Ali Yusuf could speak English and French, and our candidate could speak English and German, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the last point, the internal issues in Kenya contributed to the downfall of Raila Odinga, Madam Speaker. The internal issues because other countries could not trust Kenya when it comes to fighting for human rights, Madam Speaker, because of the abductions that are going on in this country, the killings that are going on in this country, and yet nobody is speaking about it. And the Right Honorable Raila Odinga spoke about it the last day of his campaigns when he was being prayed for in Bomas of Kenya. That is the only time he's had in public condemning abductions. I think probably he was told, you have to speak about it, Madam Speaker. So we lost because we could not be trusted to fight for other Africans, Madam Speaker. We have Kizza Besigye, the opposition leader in Uganda. The person who is supposed to represent Africa never even commented about that, Madam Speaker. So we lost because we pretended to be diplomatic. We pretended that we understand the problems of Africa. Yet it was a contest for somebody to prove, if I can get Africa, why not Kenya again, Madam Speaker? So Raila was used as a bait by the government. They never wanted him to win. And that's why they did what they did, Madam Speaker. And I'm so sorry, and I say pole to the Right Honorable Raila Odinga, that you did not lose because of your person. You did not lose because you didn't have what it takes. You lost because of those who are fronting you, just like you lost in 2022 because of those who are fronting you then. So next time, choose the right people, those people who have the blessings of this country. But next time, I believe if he runs without them, he will make it. I don't know what, but he will make it. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Senator Karungu Thangwah. Next is Senator Mogeni Eric Okongo.